I had too much sauce. All of my heel blow now. It's too much sauce. That's too much sauce. You got too much sauce. That's too much sauce.
The high school football regular season comes to an end tonight as McQuaid travels to Fairport, and we've got it live for you right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Welcome everyone to our live stream broadcast from Fairport High School. I'm Ray Sullivan, joined by my partner Dave Marine, the head football coach at Wayne Central High School. And Coach, McQuaid will try and finish off a perfect regular season tonight. They're 6-0 coming in.
No question, undefeated coming in, probably one of the best teams right now in Class AA. They're physical on both sides. You can see, you put the tape on and you can see the difference in speed right up front from the get-go. And you can see here by the highlights, they have a lot of weapons and they have a blue-collared approach. Coach Bates' concept is, here's the deal, guys. Each week somebody gets to earn a lunch pail, and they get a lunch pail full of goodies and whatnot, and they hand it to the guy that works the hardest. And it really kind of sets the tone that they want them to embrace the concept of, hey, boys, time to go to work.
Now, my question is that all good, healthy snacks that they're getting?
I got to believe in Coach Bates. It probably is.
Okay, so on the other side of the ball, Fairport coach is 3-3 coming in, and there's a lot on the line tonight. They're fighting for playoff position.
Yeah, definitely a different animal. One's fighting to stay undefeated. The other's fighting to get into playoff. And they're going to do a little mixture of Braden Council, a sophomore, 6'1", 215 quarterback, but Clay Stuver will step in there as a captain at 6'4", 175 a quarterback, looking to just manage the game and make sure they get the ball to their playmakers, but work the clock is really going to be the biggest thing for them.
All right, we're going to take a quick break right now. We'll be back with the kickoff of tonight's game. You're watching Section 5 football on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Is not allowed on school grounds.
Welcome back to our coverage of Section 5 football here on the Varsity Media Sports Network, and you are looking live at the Fairport Red Raiders taking the field on senior night here at Fairport High School. We've got Saturday night lights for you as the Red Raiders host the McQuaid Knights on the final weekend of the regular season. And right now, we want to get Coach Marine's keys to the game. And, Coach, we'll start with those Red Raiders.
Yes, no question about it. The keys to the game, I think, for the Red Raiders is be efficient on first down, convert on third down, and take control in the time of possession. Get the home crowd involved here. It's senior night, so get them involved and match McQuaid's physicality early on.
And how about on the other side for McQuaid?
As far as McQuaid, the old-fashioned stop to run. That's their biggest thing. No turnovers. Don't give Fairport the ball any more than they need to. And don't give up sacks. That's their biggest thing. Don't give up sacks. And Coach said he wants to minimize the foolish penalties. They do that, and I think they'll be in good hands to stay undefeated.
All right, and we're gonna step aside here for 1 second for the playing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Great job there with a live rendition of our national anthem as we get ready for kickoff here between McQuaid and Fairport. And, Coach, you had mentioned trying to feed off the crowd tonight for the home team, Fairport Red Raiders. It's Saturday night. You know, they're under the lights. You got a good crowd. Good, you know, they're really starting to fill in now, a big crowd. I think they've got what they need here to be up for this game.
I think there's no question. As much as there's pressure for Fairport to win this game for sectionals, there's actually more pressure on McQuaid because coming into this, they're kind of expecting it. But it's senior night, and the old saying is, as a coach, you kind of call this a trap game. You know, the pressure's really on McQuaid, and they've got a big crowd here. The thing for McQuaid is they got to weather the storm a little bit of Fairport's crowd. I think the Fairport young men are ready for this. It's senior night. It's their last time they're ever going to play on this field again in their high school career. So they're going to go out and make it a memorable one for sure.
In mentioning senior night, talking to you as a head coach, I know winning this game is the most important thing for Fairport. But we were looking at their lineup, their starting lineups, and they're a young team. As a coach, are you thinking at all about ways to get some of your seniors into the game, maybe where you might not in a typical situation?
Yeah, I think there's a good thing that you want to. It's a fine balance. Football is a unique sport compared to all the other high school sports. When you have senior night, all the seniors play in a lot of their sports because you have so many more games. But with less games, every win is really important. So I know Coach Fidecor, if the situation presents itself, he'll definitely take care of his seniors. But obviously his number one goal here is to get the W. And
as we said, there is a lot on the line for Fairport tonight. They've got a chance to end this season with a winning record. As we look at the players shaking hands and getting ready for the coin toss at midfield, let's see if we can figure out what's going to happen here. Quarterback Clay Stuver is out there right now, so I don't know if that necessarily means, Dave, that we're going to be seeing him starting the game, but it might be a sign that that's what's going to happen.
Well, I think looking out there, basically, they had talked about there may be some guys that play, some guys that may not be ready as far as healthy. This time of year, it's about getting out of the game healthy, but also making sure you play your best guys. But looking at Stuver being in street close, he's probably not going to be going. But McQuaid, I know Coach Bates had talked about some of the guys may not be full go. So we'll see when the lineups get going as far as who's going to be ready to go.
And that means that Braden Council will be our starter quarterback for Fairport tonight. He's a young guy. He's a sophomore, but he's been playing well.
Yeah, at 6 foot plus and at 215 pounds as a sophomore, he can't coach size, and he's only going to get better. Being a quarterback guy myself, I love his footwork. I think he's got a lot of potential down the road, and with the coaching staff at Fairport, I think he's going to be in good hands, and he's going to be a kid to watch down the road, not only just tonight.
Yeah, 6'1", 215 at the high school level. That's pretty prototypical.
Yeah, no question about it. You can have a guy that size, and he can move a little bit, but he throws well on the run. From what I've seen in the film I've seen, I think he makes very good decisions. He has a nice quick release. Just take care of the ball. That's going to be the biggest thing, and it'll be an interesting balance to see what they go to. They have this full house backfield, but they also can spread it out.
And here we go, and we're going to get the chance to see that Fairport offense first as McQuaid kicks off. A squibber that's fielded and taken out just beyond the 25-yard line, so it'll be 1st and 10 for Fairport starting, it looks like, at their own 26-yard line.
And it looked like Roman D'Angelo was the returner there, so that's a good start. Good start middle of the field here at the 25.
Both teams getting ready for first play of the game.
25-yard line.
There's that full house backfield here early on.
There's a snap. And that snap went direct to Kayvon Rice. And he's going to get dropped for about a yard loss there. It was a nice job by the McQuaid defense.
Yeah, Kayvon Rice, he's a load, big kid. You can get him going downhill, you could be in trouble for McQuaid. So that's a big stop for them. I know Coach Bates and his staff worked on stuffing that early.
Kayvon now to the right. And this time it's Colin Piers at quarterback. He's going to take the snap. So I'm going to have to be on my toes tonight with these quarterbacks here, Coach. They're obviously going to have some different guys taking snaps back there.
Yeah, a little wildcat action, and sometimes they go with that full house backfield where they go with the wildcat piece, and sometimes they go with console back there. Now they're going to go with the spread because obviously they've got to throw the ball a little bit, and that's where they're kind of preparing for two different offenses.
And now we are going to get a look at Braden Council, who we were talking about just a few minutes ago. 6'1", 215-pound sophomore, and he's got two wideouts to his left, two to his right, and a third down and about 7. There's the snap. Little high, moves to his right, throws out to the right, and he was just throwing that one away.
Yeah, a lot of pressure early. We talked about McQuaid not giving up sacks. They're going to have to be ready, Fairport, to get a little bit better pass pro. But, again, you're in that situation we talked about, one of the keys to go, be efficient on first down. They're not efficient on first down. Now they're in a true passing down. The spread comes out, so now the D-line are going to pin their ears back, and they're coming. So it makes it a little bit tougher to block up front in the pass pro.
Yeah, not exactly, I'm sure, what Coach Vitacor was hoping for out of his offense. And now they will punt the ball away. And there is the kick. And going to let that roll. And gets a nice Fairport bounce down inside the 30-yard line. And McQuaid will start at their own 29 as the McQuaid offense will take the field tonight for the first time. Their quarterback is Joe Cairns. He's a junior. He's a big kid, too. He's 6'3", Coach.
Yeah, big kid, athletic. But, their big thing is he's got so many playmakers. He doesn't have to do it all himself. They got back to that punt return. 26 there, Casey Howard did a really good job not trying to do something out of that and just letting it take a roll and no heavy space in his offense.
And one of those weapons is running back Andrew Passero, and he's not in the game right now. We weren't sure whether or not he was going to play, and in place of him is Jack Miller, and he takes the handoff and takes it for a first down on the first play.
Yeah, that's a huge transition.
Oh, I'm sorry, and that was a fumble. Fumble, Coach.
Huge transition.
Huge play.
Huge transition there for Fairport, and we talked about it as one of the keys to McQuaid, and here it is. One of the keys to Fairport and McQuaid's side was McQuaid didn't want to turn the ball over and give Fairport the ball anymore.
And we're taking a look at it right here. Lost the ball at the end of the run here.
Great job.
Broke through the line of scrimmage, and it just as he crossed the line of scrimmage, it came out. And Fairport recovers a huge play for the Red Raiders early here. And now their offense is in business on the plus side of the field. They'll start at the McQuaid 40-yard line.
That's a big play,
Council back in at quarterback. 3 wideouts to his left. Now one goes in motion. There's the snap. And pressure again from that defense. And that is big Aldrin Wilson taking him down for a sack.
He's tough up front. McQuaid's got some tough kids. He's 6'4", junior, only a junior. He's going to be a kid to watch, and that's 2 times in the past, pro, that they've been able to get a good ball. If the ball get off across the board, all 4 of these D linemen are unbelievable. The linebackers don't have to do as much with what they have up front.
And you talk about athletic. Aldrin Wilson is a running back and a defensive lineman. Not a combination you see a lot.
No, and that just shows you he's got great feet.
There's a handoff up the middle, and they get a good chunk of that back almost to the original line of scrimmage. Going to be just short of that, so that's going to bring up a 3rd and 11 for the Red Raiders.
That's a great effort by senior Colin Pierce. He did all, dragged a couple guys for extra yards. Now they're back in the right situation with 3rd and 10.
For the Raiders.
Wide out in motion. Council rolling to his right. Nice pass over the middle, and he throws a dart for a completion to Andrew Smith, and that's a first down.
That is such a tough package. We run a similar package to that. They're just sent to go no huddle. You got a shoot route, you got a corner route, and you got a guy running curl. When you're in zone, you can't cover that. And it's just a matter of just reading as you're flowing out and you're sprint out.
And Andrew went to the right spot and just turned and waited. So 1st down and 10 for the Red Raiders. Council calls for the ball. He gets it. He hands off to Colin Pierce again, and this time Pierce is going to pick up a couple.
Pick up of a few, 2nd down.
Good hard run. Looks like they're going to go a little tempo and maybe try to catch them and slow down their, that's a great way to combat their D-line getting the ball, get off if you can go a quick huddle and force Coach Bates and his defense to kind of stay base.
Council looking for the play as it's signaled in from the sidelines. He's got it now. One wide out to his left, way out to his left, and one to his right.
It'll be interesting to see if he boots out of this. Nope, there's that Oregon motion.
This time looks up in the middle. Another nice looking pass, but just out of the reach of his receiver.
That was a great package. So you got that Oregon motion going out. It puts the linebackers in tough position. And now you had a tight end going a vertical and a slot going vertical. And he could have picked his poison. Little pressure, kind of sped up, not getting his feet set, but that's something I'm bet you they're going to go back to.
That was number 7, John Tarmino for Fairport going in motion there, and you would think that just draws the defensive eyes to him, and that opens up the middle of the field. There's a snap now on 3rd down. Pressure again, and Council is going to get wrapped up for a big loss right there. And right now, Fairport is struggling with this pressure by McQuaid.
Yeah, I really was expecting them to go with a screen out of that because of the pressure, or maybe a quick count. But you look at the ball get off here. It's unbelievable how quick he is off the edge.
Nope, that's a wrong replay, so we're going to go back to live here for you.
4th and 16.
But they did get off the ball quickly, and even if it was a screen, Coach, he didn't have any time to even make a quick little screen pass. So Fairport's going to go for it here. At least that's the way they're going to line up. 3 wide outs to the left. Council, more pressure, and this time he's going to cough the ball up, and that goes right into the hands of the defender, number 17, Paris Smiley, and he takes off running, and he takes it over midfield, and McQuaid is in business now.
Yeah, that was the pressure is unbelievable. They're going to have to figure a way to slow down that. I really thought it was actually a pass, so it was. I don't think it ever comes out. It was a great. That's technique. That's coached. He's punching it out from behind. So technically, he wasn't throwing it as actually a fumble. He just happened to catch in the air.
Yeah, that defensive lineman came around from behind him and just punched that ball loose, and it just happened to land right in the arms of Paris Smiley.
And I really thought he was going to the house, so Fairport did a quick job of transitioning the defense quickly to not give up a big play.
So McQuaid will start in plus territory. And once again, it is Jack Miller in the backfield, and he takes it up the middle, and he's going to pick up a good chunky yardage on 1st down, a gain of 7 on 1st down.
And that's a great confidence run for Jack Miller there. He comes in. He's stepping in for Andrew Pacierio. His first carry, he fumbles Coach Bates has shown the confidence. I'm going to give him the ball right back. They run a counter trade this way. Gets a good 7 yards right off the bat.
And Miller again is in the backfield. This time Cairns looks like he's going to line up under center. Moving some players around, including one of his big offensive linemen out to the right there. Sends a man in motion back to the left. And there's trouble. He fumbled the snap. Ball still on the ground. And it looks like Fairport is going to come up with it. So turnovers right now are the story of this first quarter.
No question about it. And that play from the get-go had the signs of disaster. Guys moving around, not knowing where to go. But right off the bat, here it is. Nobody knew who to block because they were in a position to shift over to unbalanced. Then they get a motion, and they get in there, and before you know it, he can't even handle the snap to get the handoff. That's a great job. Great short-term memory by Fairport.
Yeah, great job by those guys. Good hustle to get on that ball, and now it'll be 1st and 10 for the Red Raiders again.
It looks like they're going with the spread here, 2-by-2 set.
Council calling for the ball. This time he's going to hand it off. And a nice move at the line of scrimmage. Breaks it out to the left-hand side. That's Colin Piers again, and he picks up a first down, a gain of about 15.
5'7", 180-pound senior. Coach Bittercore couldn't say enough about this young man. The kid you'd love, type of kid you'd love being on your team. He doesn't care where he plays. Just, coach, put me in and I'll get it done, and he's tough as nails.
One of the few seniors who've played a big role on this offense. It's a lot of young guys.
And his senior leadership and his character and showing what he's about is right there.
Pierce takes it again, a spin move, great spin move at the line of scrimmage, and he's going to pick up 5 more. Boy, that was a great move, Coach.
That was a big-time play. You can work on some of those drills and you can coach some of that stuff, but that's pure making a play. And I tell you, that's going to fuel the fire for the rest of these younger guys on the offense. We got a senior like that getting after it.
2nd down and 5 now. Same formation, 2 wideouts to the right and to the left. This time, Council's going for the pass, and it's picked off. Another turnover. And McQuaid is going to take it down inside the 40-yard line. And that was Tim Oberleis with the pickoff. And that is our 4th turnover of this early first quarter.
Well, so you got a curl route coming in, and basically what you should be reading is reading that corner to that outside backer. And I think he just saw the corner and thought the curl was going to be there, and the outside backer just sat.
And Oberleis did a nice job. Once again, for a brief second when he caught that ball, Coach, I thought he's going to the house with this.
Yeah, and again, Fairport transitioned to defense pretty quick. It shows their speed they have. But wow, there's more turnovers in most of these two programs' game as a full game, let alone in the first 6.5 minutes.
Yeah, 5:20 left to go here. Scoreless in the first quarter, and mainly because we've had those 4 turnovers. McQuaid on 1st down. Quick pass out to Miller again, I believe that is, and that's going to pick up a 1st down. Nice job right there.
Yeah, Casey Howlett out on the edge. He goes in motion out there. They never bumped down or balanced out. Whether that's something they saw from film, not to respect, I don't know, but they were out leveraged right off the bat, and that's a great job by Joe to just get him the ball. Joe Cairns to get him the ball early and let him do work.
And that was Casey Howlett, not Jack Miller. And this time Howlett is wide out to the right in an I formation out there. Cairns puts a man in motion. Miller in the backfield with him, and this time he takes the handoff, and he's going to bust it up the middle and go in for the touchdown. First score of the game as McQuaid takes an early 6-0 lead.
You know, you put those 2 receivers out there and stack. You see how they're going to respond to it. They don't split the difference. So at that point, he's got an RPO where he's going to throw it out there. So it looks like it was 2-by-2, so it's matched up. So he's not going to throw it. So now he's going to look to go to his run check. They bunch over here. They shift him over in a shuffle motion. The safety comes over. They pick up the safety, which is a great block by the O-line on the safety. It allows to cut back for Jack Miller to cut it back. Well designed.
And finally, somebody takes advantage of one of those 4 turnovers that we've had. Here's the placement. Kick is up, and the kick is good. And so McQuaid will take an early 7-0 lead here in the first quarter. 5:06 left to play, and we'll be back with the kickoff in just a moment. You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network. Welcome back to Varsity Media Network's coverage of Section 5 football.
Number 7, John Terramino.
We just had our first touchdown of the game scored by McQuaid and to take a 7-0 lead here with 5:06 left to go in the first quarter. And here comes the kickoff. Kind of a line drive kickoff. And Fairport will field it on the bounce. Up the middle. And we do have a flag on the play. And not sure if you heard that or not, but we might have a block in the back, Coach.
Yeah, you could see it from up here. There's no question about it. And you know that's a perfect case of not catching the ball in the air. I know it's squibbing, but they need to move up. Hopefully they're not in a situation to have to kick return anymore. But you lose consistently 10 to 15 yards if you don't catch the ball in the air. And in that type of squib, it's bounced twice. So now you're losing 20 yards right off the bat before he even touches the ball. Because there was a gap there, but he's not up there at that point in time, and then you get a block in the back on top of it. He's pretty much right back where he would have returned it from.
So after the penalty, Fairport will start with 1st and 10 from their own 11-yard line, 12-yard line. And Council looking for the play. Once again, more of what we've seen, Coach. Two wideouts to the right and left of Council. Man in motion, that's John Termino. And they're going to hand off. And a nice run up the middle there. Picks up probably about 3 or 4 yards on first down.
He's running hard. It'll be interesting to see if they pick that up. To the running back side, they're running a one-tech, so they're expecting the ball to go away from. They're putting their strength away from the running back when they're in this. And it's interesting, and they might be going field because now they're doing it to the running backs, away from the running back here in a one-tech, so maybe just a field situation.
Colin Pierce in the backfield with Braden Council right now, man in motion, coming across, and the handoff to Pierce. And this time, he's got nowhere to go right there. Coach, that almost looked like Council had an option there, whether to give it to him or not. Do you think that was a play?
Yeah, I don't know if he's got to read, if he's reading that backside D end or not. He's riding him a little bit, and that may be something down the road they take advantage of, especially because those D linemen are getting up top. So their spotters up top are watching what's that backside D end, but looking like they're bringing pressure, or at least showing it right now.
And they're going to see plenty of pressure right now on a 3rd and 8.
It'd be a great time for a screen.
Council looking to his right, fires one out to the right side there and just out of the reach of his receiver. We do have a flag in the backfield. Let's see what the call is.
Maybe roughing the passer. Yep, roughing the passer.
The guys in the red jerseys are clapping, and that's exactly what it is, a roughing the passer. And so that is going to get Fairport out of their own end, their backs to their own goal line, and going to give them a little breathing room here and a first down.
And what we talked about, one of those keys to McQuaid, Coach Bates talked about, foolish penalties. There's a situation that bailed Fairport out. But you could say that route was open. They're bailing pretty good. I think their receiver's going to get open. Council's just going to have to settle in there, but it's tough when you got pressure on your face.
So 1st and 10 from the 28-yard line. Council puts a man in motion. That's Termino again. And he hands it off to Termino, and McQuaid is ready for that. They dropped Termino back there for a loss of about 5 yards.
Yeah, and it looked like it was going to be jet sweep, and I don't know if the timing was off, but he had to actually slow down because he would have went past the snap before it was snapped. And that's the type of play you got to be going in full speed because they're anticipating that, blocking up front like that.
Officially a 4-yard loss, so that brings up 2nd and 14. Council, that's a bad snap, and Council is trying to get his hands on it. He got down on the ground, Coach. He wasn't able to pull it in, and McQuaid is going to recover that ball, our 5th turnover of the first half.
Yeah, incredible. I thought he did a smart job just trying to fall on it and not make something happen, but the turf sometimes it can slide. I think he went to fall on it so hard, and here's a play right off the – he didn't have a chance. It's off to his right, way away, so it's not off his hands all way to his right. Does a smart job trying to fall on it, and then unfortunately just can't squeeze in, just rolls away.
Just squirted away from him, and the McQuaid defenders were right there to pick it up. And so now McQuaid with another great opportunity off of a turnover, 1st and goal from the 10-yard line.
Yeah, and I expect maybe that counter away here based on the overload they got here.
Now they move it over to the left. Jack Miller in the backfield. He takes the handoff, and he gets drilled behind the line of scrimmage. Just a great play right there. Looked like Jalen Moss just dropping Jack Miller.
Yeah, what a play. Jalen Ross, 6'3", 215 pound, only a sophomore. Coach talked about if he uses his hand, he will dominate. But sometimes, and that's the sophomore, sometimes you don't use your hands as much. You try to use your moves because you're so quick. But when you use your hands, they said he will dominate. So he's going to be a player to watch tonight, let alone down the road. But there was that counter. They did a good job reading the guards and staying home.
So 2nd and goal now from the 11-yard line. Cairns under center. Takes the snap. He fakes it. Nice quick move, and he's got a man open in the flat, and that is going to be just short of the goal line. Completed the Jordan Brongo down there, and he's going to come up just short. But a nice job by Cairns there, Dave, to avoid that pressure, that initial pressure, and get the ball away.
Yeah, that was a great job because the DN played it well. He just needed to buzz his feet a little bit. But even before that, if they didn't have that covered at all. So he did a great job, exactly like you said, to step up.
Got a McQuaid player down on the field right now. It looks like Dave DeMarco, one of their offensive linemen. So we're going to take a break here for a second, and we'll come back in just a moment on the Varsity Media Sports Network. All right, we are back. 3rd and goal from the 1. McQuaid with a quick snap there, and that's a touchdown for McQuaid, and that was a really unusual-looking play, Coach, and it's Aldrin Wilson taking that in. I couldn't tell if he actually took the direct snap there.
No, it was really a wedge play where usually you don't get in that situation. He usually is going to shuffle across, and they've been rotating over with that, shuffle across.
Here's the replay.
And usually it's going to be an outside zone or a counter way. So he just shuffles across. Everybody's looking to flop over defensively, and he stops, and then it's just a wedge. Everybody's going to squeeze to the middle, and he's just going to stick his nose. Great job just pushing into the pile and let things happen.
Quick little handoff there to him. He bounced off of the tacklers and took it in the end zone as McQuaid misses the extra point there. So that makes it 13-0 McQuaid here in the first quarter with 1 minute and 35 seconds left to go. And let's take a moment, Coach, just to talk about what's happened here. It's been a fast and furious first quarter, and the story has been turnovers.
Yeah, no question about it. We talked about as part of the keys of the game, not turning the ball over. No team capitalized on it early, and now McQuaid has capitalized. 13 points, one missing an extra point. Every point's going to matter, obviously, here. But the kind of thing that Coach Bates wants to hold his breath early on. He gets one of his linemen going down, and, last game of the regular season going to sectionals, you want to make sure everybody gets out healthy besides trying to get the W.
And that was Dave DeMarco right before our break. He went down, but he did walk off the field under his own power, so hopefully that's good news as McQuaid gets ready to kick off here. And Fairport with 2 men deep. John Tarmino, I believe, out there. And here is the kick. And once again, Coach, it's going to bounce, and it's going to give him trouble. And that is going to go into the end zone and be called a touchback, and they got a break right there.
Yeah, disappointed to see that they're still in the same spot back deep. They should have their heels on their 10, if not on the 15, because he has yet to kick it over their head. But, like I said, hopefully they're not in a situation to have the kick return. And now you got to have a short-term memory. Try to get down the field, get something positive here. Go back to those keys of the game. Be efficient on first down and convert on third. I think they can throw on them. The receivers have been open. It was just the one wrong read on that one interception, but the other ones were there. It was just he's got to get his feet set. We got to get a little bit better pass pro up front.
The couple of balls that he has thrown, he looks like he's got great form. Puts Tarmino in motion this time, calls for the ball, and now a handoff, and that's going to be Pierce. Pierce breaking around the left-hand side, and he's got some room, and he is caught from behind at midfield, but a nice run by Pierce to get things started off on the right foot for this Fairport offense.
That was a big play. Great seal block on this end with the with the tight end. He does a great job sealing him down here to allow him to get outside. And great stalk block by the receiver there. Great run support. The old sweep the leg tackle at the end to save a touchdown.
Man, that was James Dorr actually saving a touchdown for McQuaid. A nice tackle right there. So, 1st and 10 for Fairport from midfield. There's the handoff. And once again, that McQuaid defensive line is ready.
I tell you, though, with Gavian Rice, 250-pound sophomore, he's a load. If they can get him to the second level, that's going to be tough.
Yeah, that was a nice job of stopping him for no gain right there, just about a half-yard gain. So it's going to bring up 2nd down. They're calling it 9.
Looks like a 2-by-2 set here.
Once again, Tarmino in motion. And once again, they're going to hand off to Rice. And once again, a nice job by the McQuaid defense handling the big guy right there and bringing him down.
Yeah, that was a great tackle. Great tackle. Looked like Jordan Bronco there on the tackle. He doesn't make that tackle. You're going to see Javian Rice at the safety level. And at 250, if I'm a safety, I'm not going to want to see him at that level.
and I'm not sure that Bronco wants to see him either, but he took him down one-on-one.
Great play of the old Red Raiders. They're going to take this into the quarter, it looks like.
Yep, and that is going to do it for the first quarter here. So we'll take a break with the score McQuaid 13, Fairport nothing. We'll be back on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
What kind of athlete is the most recruitable athlete in the world? Is it just talent? It's not. It's the intangibles. How coachable are you? What kind of teammate are you? We brought you here because we see those intangibles in you.
The coaching has been great, the organization has been great, competition has been the best part too.
I have one offer, and that's from Army West Point.
Been here with competing with the best in New York State and showcasing my talents. It's a great experience.
1, 2, 3, brothers!
Time now to take a look at the Prospect New York State watch list. Here are some key players to watch tonight that we might be seeing at the collegiate level down the road. And for McQuaid, we're going to be talking about running back Andrew Passero. We haven't seen him tonight, but he is an incredible talent. You've got offensive and defensive lineman Quinn Bergeron, and then big Aldrin Wilson, who's a unusual combination of a halfback and a defensive tackle. Prospect New York State is New York's leader when it comes to spotlighting high school football prospects in our state. Stay tuned for more information about their 2020 Power 100 Showcase event happening in April. And, Coach, we get right back at it here. Big third down for Fairport. Over the middle, and a beautiful play, a beautiful pass, and a beautiful catch right there to pick up a big first down and keep some momentum going here for Fairport.
That was a great job. We talked about that in the first quarter. They went back. I knew they would have to go back to that because they're not covering that very well.
Big Josh Knapp over the middle, pulling that in for a first down, and McQuaid will have 1st and 10 from the, Fairport will have 1st and 10 from the McQuaid 30-yard line. Council takes the snap, hands off this time to Piers, and Piers is going to get wrapped up in the backfield. And a great tackle right there by Jacob Kimbrew, who came in, got through his block, and pulled down Piers for about a 5-yard loss.
I love his last name. That's a linebacker's last name for sure, Kimbrew.
Kimbrew.
You know, you talked about some of the guys from New York State prospect watch list. Quinn Burgeon, I get a chance to talk about him. His ball get off on both offense and defense, number 70, 6'1", senior, is impressive.
So that's going to bring up a 2nd down and about 15. Council dropping straight back. Now there's pressure up the middle again, and this time he is going to be brought down for another loss. And once again, it's Jordan Bronco bringing him down, got him by the heels, Coach, and tripped him up.
Yeah, it was a great line game there. A little twist up front and by both sides. Confused the old line a little bit on who's going to switch who. And it's tough at the high school level if you get some line games like that, how to respond. And they struggle with that, but it's not only struggling with the twist piece, but struggling with the twist piece with the 4 they have up front. Looks like they're going 3-4 now.
Yep, 3rd down and 19 here. Council, pressure once again, and he's forced out of the pocket immediately. Going to have to put his head down and run, and he is going to be stopped well short of the 1st down. And we'll see what Coach Vitacor decides he wants to do here on 4th and about 15 yards.
He's got nothing to lose. I got to believe he's going to go for it here.
Certainly looks like it. Yep, offense staying on the field with Council.
You know, they were in a 3-4 cover 2 or maybe a cover 4 situation. Looks like they're going to be in the same set. They're going to bring 3, possibly 4 on a delay blitz. So they're not going to give anything deep. The middle should be open, and the flat should be open.
Council with 3 wide outs to his left, looking left. Pressure again, and he is going to be brought down. It is just too much right now for that Fairport offensive line, and Fairport is going to turn the ball over on downs.
Yeah, disappointed. I think the early pressure he got early on forced him to get out of the pocket early. I felt like he could have stayed there a little bit longer and hitch up one more time. You know, the big thing is you got to be able to move in a phone booth back there, and you don't want to try to move out of the pocket too early. I think if he just hitched up one more time, he would have saw that window open up on that curl coming from the left.
And maybe part of that being a sophomore, not being there all that much yet.
No question about it. You know, I think he's going to be something special down the road, and you know, every opportunity is a learning opportunity.
So McQuaid takes the field with a 13-0 lead in the second quarter here, 9:30 left to go from their own 30-yard line. Joe Cairns takes the snap, rolls to his right, and we're going to get a whistle before this play ever gets started.
I tell you what, that's going to be something they're going to probably go back to. You know, it's looking like he's just coming in motion this way. If he's going to zoom motion all the way across, that's one thing. And you can see that the safeties are rolling for Fairport. So they're already halfway rolling, and now he sticks his foot in the ground. And Casey Howell motions back out. It looked like it was going to sprint out. He would have been wide open.
So that is going to bring up a 1st and 15 for the McQuaid Knights as they get the play called in from the sidelines. Now 2 wide outs to both sides of the field. Cairns in the shotgun. Takes the snap, fakes the handoff, and he is just buried in red jerseys.
That was a great look. They kind of disguised a little bit. It really was a 3-4. They walked the guy up and showed blitz on one side and brought it from the other side, and they weren't ready for it. That was a great defensive call.
And Cairns came up limping right there, and I was wondering if he was going to try and walk that off, but he is in some discomfort right now. Doesn't want to come out. Coaches haven't stopped him yet, but he does not look like somebody who's going to be able to move very much, and he's got a 2nd and about 20.
That was a great defense call by defense coordinator Frank Mullen there to bring that pressure.
Now we get a whistle. I don't see a flag. Just the referees huddling quickly.
Looks like Coach Frank Mullen's talking to the defense now. Kind of brought him to the side, a couple of his players. His senior and Colin Pierce kind of telling him some stuff. So you might see some type of game here, but you don't have a play for third and 20.
Or 2nd and 20.
2nd and 20, yes.
and now it's 2nd and 25. So I think you just got to be thinking about picking up a part of this, obviously. Cairns still in the game. Dropping straight back. Fakes the pass and then is able to get it off, but it is broken up over the middle. That was that was Jordan Bronco who almost brought that in, Coach, but he got hit and the ball came loose.
That was 2 big-time plays by the quarterback to fake it because they got pressure in his face. They're bringing it off the edge by the outside backer. Good fake to get him off his feet. Step up, resets his eyes. This is a good catch, and then that's true technique. Punches it out right there. That's a great, great job.
Boy, after that's that fake, and he stepped up in the pocket, and he threw a strike.
He did, and Joe Cairns took a hit there. So hopefully, looks like I'm sure he's tough. He's going to be fine, but you don't want to see your starting quarterback taking those type of hits.
5 wide receivers in the game. He's going over the middle again, and again he's going to get it to It looks like
Number 26 for McQuaid on the cover of the reception.
that is Casey Howlett with a first down catch. That's a huge play, Coach. We were just talking about how many plays you have called for those types of situations. Well, they had one.
Right down the middle. Great route, kind of split that cover 2, cover 4 look right down the middle. That's one of the weaker spots. And he stepped up, didn't have any pressure in the middle because the pressure was coming from the outside, so it gave him a clear vision down there.
And Casey Howlett brings it in for a first down. Now you got 4 wide outs to the right. Quick pass out to the flat there. Little screen pass, and that is going nowhere for McQuaid.
They defended that well. It turns into a quads look. They matched it up 4x4. It'll be interesting to see what comes about of that. Eventually, they may be setting them up to show that bubble look again and get a bubble and go and get somebody, going a vertical that usually is taking an angle to block.
So with 7:26 and counting left to go here, McQuaid with a 13-0 lead and the ball. And they are looking at second and about 12 from their own 41-yard line.
You got a tight trips this side, so watch that middle. Here's that sprint out probably. Nope.
Cairns going to hand the ball off this time. And going to pick up maybe 2 or 3 yards right there.
Yeah, they ran that same motion with Howlett. But last early on, they tried that sprint out. So it'll be interesting to see. They may be using that just to see how the defense moves. And I think they're realizing he's going with them, so they're going to try to run backside.
Raider fans, let's make some noise.
So it'll be third down and 9 for McQuaid. Now you've got 3 wide outs over here to the left, Coach.
Yeah, they got the field side to the left. You got to be looking for something down the middle. Here goes Howlett in motion. They're bumping over.
He breaks over the middle. This time he's looking deep. Cairns, and he just didn't get much on that ball. And we're looking for...
Looks like a flag was thrown down here. I don't know if he's got a holding call because he beat him. But it looks like there's a flag down here at about the 46. Coach Fitticore doesn't look happy, so I'm unless he picked it up. It could be a sideline warning. He might have ran into the coach running down the field would be my thought because he already picked it up, but we'll see here. Yep.
We're going to get the call right here. And it is going to remain 4th down for McQuaid.
So sideline warning is he must have ran into somebody that was down here. So the coaches right now are getting the get back, guys. My big thing that drives me nuts. You got the blue line back down there.
You think it'd be simple, right? But kids get excited, coaches get excited, and now they are going to walk off the penalty, and that is going to be a first down for McQuaid, and that's a big penalty. That was not a warning.
That's interesting. Unless I'm reading that wrong, that had no impeding on the play. It didn't avoid his call. That's something that unless he's already yelled at him a bunch of times, but you usually get a warning flag.
Yeah, and we have not seen a warning flag. They have not signaled a warning to either bench at this point. So that an interesting call, and so that is going to bring up a 1st and 10 for McQuaid on the 43-yard line of Fairport. The handoff this time up the middle, and that Red Raider defensive line is ready for it as they drop Jack Miller for either no gain or maybe a loss.
I'm thinking about that call back and looking down. Looks like Ron Davis is the side official on this side. I actually got a chance to work with him last night at our game. He's great. But one of the things he addressed to us right away, who's your get back coach, and make sure everybody's back. So I got to imagine that was well addressed way before.
We've just had another flag thrown down here, and I'm only guessing right now, but I think one of the coaches said something to an official that you don't get to say. No, now they are going to do a warning. They're going to do a warning to the Fairport bench that they've got to back up. Boy, it looked to me like one of the coaches was right in the ear of that ref that down along the sideline, and all of a sudden that flag came out. I thought he may have said some magic words to him, but just a warning. So 2nd down and 11 for McQuaid here.
So I'm wondering, going back, I have to look at that. I'm curious. He may give him the signal for legal participation, so our defender may have gone out of bounds. That came back in.
All right. Cairns puts man in motion. Drops straight back.
There's the
looking
wheel
down
route.
the right-hand side, the wheel route, like you said, Coach, and that was played beautifully by the Fairport defense.
Well defended. Sometimes you can get caught when you're the outside corner going with that post or that slant inside. But what happened in their defense, you've got number 41, Matt Scarpelli, did a great job running with him on the shoot route and then going down the sideline with him. Well done.
And I called the McQuaid-Pittsford game in week 2 of this season, and the difference there may have been that it was Andrew Passerell running those wheel routes. They ran that play twice for long touchdowns to perfection.
Yeah, Passerell was probably one of the fastest kids in Section 5, and Coach had talked about it. When things are going not the way we like, we find a way to get him the ball, and yes, the wheel route is a different animal with him for sure.
So, third down now and 11. Cairns throws one out, and it got tipped at the line of scrimmage. A nice job there by Colin Pierce. Got in and put some pressure on it, got his hands up, and was able to tip the ball.
Great job by Colin, matching hands with the quarterback, getting his hand in his face, creating ball disruption, which was big. And it was interesting because I thought they were going to do the bubble and go because he pump faked, and I think maybe he read that the go was covered, so he went right back to the bubble. And great job matching hands by Colin Pierce.
Not very often you get a 5'7" guy knocking down a pass to a 6'3" quarterback.
No question about it. And that's what Coach Vidicor said. He's a tough kid that will do whatever it takes.
So McQuaid will punt it away. 2 men back for Fairport on their own 10-yard line. No pressure. There's the kick, and it's a short one, and it's going to bounce again. And this time Fairport is going to just let it roll. And that ball will be down at about the 11-yard line. And that's where Fairport will take over. And we'll take a break as we get ready for the next Fairport possession. We'll be right back on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Welcome back to Varsity Media's Network's coverage of Section 5 football. We are in the second quarter here. Fairport with the ball. Quick snap there, and that ball is batted down at the line of scrimmage. So Fairport bats one down, and McQuaid answers with a batted ball of their own.
Yeah, and that was big that he did because he was open. That was a great play-action fake. I love the call. It sucked the linebackers up early, created a window to put it in there, and he was open. So he had tight coverage. He was still open. They don't knock it down. That's probably completion.
So second down and 10 from the 14-yard line for Fairport. Handoff up the middle, and again, that's going nowhere. That has been a tough place to run for Fairport tonight.
Yeah, those guys up front are tough. They set the tone. We talked about their physicality, and just going to work every day and embracing that. Interesting fact by McQuaid. 6 games, they get 36 timeouts. They haven't used one yet this whole year.
That's incredible.
So it's really incredible, and I talked to him, and so it'll be interesting if I said I'm going to hold him to it to see if he uses one tonight.
So third down now and 12. And there's a pass over the middle, and that one's going to be picked off, and that is going to be returned for a touchdown by McQuaid. A big turnover, the third big turnover, 5th of the game, but the third big turnover by Fairport.
Yeah, and you hit the nail on the head, big turnover. That's key because not only they get the ball, but they turn it into a score here. It looks like he sees him open, and he just drops and sits. So I'm not sure if he expected him to run his route out because it looked like he threw it right on time, and he was just sitting right in the right spot for him.
And I believe that was Jordan Brongo that picked that off and brought it all the way back for the touchdown. So now McQuaid will attempt the point after and try to make it 20-0 here with 4 left to go in the second quarter. Snap. Ball is down. Kick is up. And it hits the post. So that's 2 extra points they haven't been able to convert, Coach. And it will remain 19-0 McQuaid.
And those are things that Coach Bates is not going to be happy with. They can't afford to miss extra points, let alone this game or moving forward. But back to that timeout thing, I asked Coach, I said, let me ask you as a coach, because I'm always trying to absorb things, and he says, I don't like to use timeouts. There's plenty of times I'll take a delayed game, because those are so precious, you don't want to waste them. And to me, it's about preparation. If you have to call timeouts for all those things, you're not prepared enough. And for him to say 36, he said, Coach, I've had 36 timeouts. Guess how many you used? And I said, 2. He goes, none. I still have 36 in my pocket. So the way it's going, I don't expect him to use it, but hopefully Fairport realizes there's a lot of football left, and they just got to capitalize. But I like right now already they're up at the 15, so they should be in position to catch this ball in the air.
They finally made that adjustment you've been talking about. The kickoffs have been short, and they've been bouncing, and that's made it extremely difficult for the returners to get a handle on it and return that ball, have a clean return. So as we get ready for the McQuaid kickoff, now we'll see how they handle it. And this time it's a line drive. Not really much you could do there, but it was fielded cleanly by Termino, and he's going to bust one up the right-hand side. A great move right there as he got enough to get all the way down and in. Gets pushed from behind, and a great return by John Termino there, caught from behind. But a huge play for Fairport, and now their offense needs to take advantage of this.
Made a difference. Them being up at the 15-yard line, they're usually getting the ball in the second bounce. He gets on the first bounce. That saves 10 yards, and there's been a gap there every time, but he's always been 10 yards behind. That gap's there. He's up closer, and this is the result right down here. And this is what drives me nuts as a coach. When you see a kid running behind, he's trying to push. This is where you need to dive for legs and sweep the legs and try to push him out of bounds.
And right there, it looked like he was trying to reach for him, and he just caught his heels.
Great effort. Something Fairport needed right there. They needed something positive because, unfortunately, right now, offensively, they've had a long field to work with. They haven't really moved it that well. This should light up a spark for them.
And John Termino is that type of kid. He's been able to do that for this team all year long. He's their leading receiver. It's unusual. He's by far their leading receiver. He hasn't found the end zone yet. Thought he was going to find it right there, but we'll see what happens here as Fairport lines up for first down. Some unusual movement in the backfield there. Quick snap, and this is Termino again. No, that's Piers. Piers breaks it around the right-hand side, and he comes down just short of the goal line. A great little play right there, Dave.
Yes, that's great, and I bet you they're going to go tempo and line right up and go right at him again. They're not going to give him a chance. McQuaid's trying to sub in right now and get somebody out. I got to imagine they're just going to run the same thing, maybe to the other side, and just go tempo at him.
Piers again in the backfield. Oh, and guess what we just have? What do we have, Coach?
Timeout. I just told you, I said Coach Bass, I'm going to see if you use it. Here's it literally in 6 games. This is his first timeout he's called, and this being the 7th game. And that speaks volumes for what Fairport's doing right now. And he realizes how important it is. So he's having a talk with the head coach. With the head official right now, but that was a great job.
All right, we'll take a timeout as well here, and we'll be right back on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Lockhart.
Welcome back to our Section 5 football coverage on the Varsity Media Sports Network as Fairport in business, first and goal from the 1-yard line, and once again they've got this heavy package lined up, Coach. And
to left.
Is it going to be Piers going to take the direct snap? He is. He's going to go right up the middle, put his head down, and he's going to get some help from his friends and get in the end zone.
That's a big play. They needed it with less than 4 minutes and a half. They needed a score, and why not do it with your guy, Colin Pierce, who's the heart and soul of the team. And heart and soul right now, he's making plays on both sides of the ball.
So, Fairport back in the game here. It looks like they're going to go for 2 possibly. Yep, and it looks like they may go with the same formation.
I tell you what, if they do, expect some type of pop pass out of here. But it looks like
this time it looks like Kayvon Rice is going to take the snap. The big guy in the backfield, now we got a whistle. And that usually means offense. It was before the play started. We'll see. Although we see some frustration on the defensive line of McQuaid. Waiting on the call here. We're going to get it.
Oh, too many men. Looks
too
like
many men on the field. Boy, that's a big mistake.
Well, and Coach Bates had talked about it, not having any foolish penalties. Somebody's probably not, when they're running on, not telling somebody to come off.
So, Kayvon Rice looking to take the direct snap here. He's going to, and he is just going to bull his way up the middle. He bounces off a big tackle there, and he gets into the end zone for the 2-point conversion. Somebody laid a big hit on Kayvon Rice, but he was able to bounce off of it and break around to the right-hand side and get in the end zone.
That was unbelievable. 250 pounds coming at you, and most people are going down, but not him. He pushed his lineman back and the guy that came in to try to fill, and nobody's willing to take another hit like that. That was unbelievable. And that's the spark that they had. They get a spark with Colin Pierce getting a run in there, and now that play alone is going to fire up the sidelines. It'll be interesting to see here if they squib it, rely on their defense. I can't imagine no onside kick it, but that's a big score, a big 2-point conversion. A lot of energy now, and the crowd is really filling up here. Fairport stands, they responded well to that one.
And I'll tell you what, with 3:56 left to go in this first half, Coach, the way this game has felt to me, it's felt like McQuaid has dominated this game. But when you look at the scoreboard right now, it's a 2-score game. And by the way, 2 scores, even without points after, puts Fairport ahead right now.
Yeah, no question about it. I'm 100% with you. It does feel like McQuaid's been dominating, and you look at the scoreboard, and that doesn't show that. And that's why that score was so important for Fairport from a mental perspective, let alone the visual piece on the scoreboard to see they're installing it.
So, Fairport will kick off. Kick is away, a nice ball. Deep, McQuaid fields it, bobbles it for a moment, and a nice return just across the 25-yard line. So McQuaid will start 1st and 10 from their own 26-yard line. And Coach, you got a great story on the offensive side of the ball for McQuaid.
Yeah, Coach Gary Parisi, the O-line coach, he has incredible high expectations for his players up front. I had him work my showcase as a line coach. He gets it. He understands it. The kids fight for him every day, and he was fighting for himself over the offseason when he was diagnosed with cancer. But just last week, he just found out he's cancer-free, and the players have really rallied around him. So I'm happy for him where he's at, and happy for his players to have a coach that is cancer-free.
And we wish him all the best going forward. And his McQuaid offense now with a first down. Cairns looking over the middle. And he's going to find his man. A nice catch out there. Is that Bronco again, Coach?
Yeah, it looked like it from here.
Yep, that was Bronco.
There was that sprint out look, and I tell you, Fairport defended that very well, and that was a great job by Joe to kind of stop and look for his third read on that coming across curl.
And Bronco looking like a tight end right there. Again, a defender draped all over him, but he got those hands out in front of him and was able to hang on to that ball. 2nd down now and 5. Big rush, and the screen is set up perfectly for McQuaid. And Jack Miller is going to pick up some big yardage over midfield, and that play couldn't have been more perfect.
Well-designed play. They got trip stack over to the far side. You have to respect it. So you put 3 guys over there, so it takes another guy out of the box and a safety over the top, and you run a screen away. I was expecting some type of run. They show the bubble to the trip stack side, and they throw the screen away. That was well-designed.
So Cairns gets his guys up to the line of scrimmage, takes a snap, and he's going to hand off to Miller. And Miller's going to take a hit, and he's going to bounce off a couple of tackles, and he's going to fight his way for about a 3-yard gain. And after that nice play on the screen, Miller kind of puts his head down and shows his toughness right there.
Yeah, it was great. I thought they played it well. The linebackers filled. I think they could have possibly hit him for a couple-yard loss, and he lowered his head, protected the ball. And, that's the big thing right now. They want to protect this lead and hopefully get a score, but try to protect it right now.
2nd down and 7. Cairns with 2 wideouts to his left and 2 more to his right. Miller in the backfield. He goes in motion, looking for maybe that reel route, but he goes over the middle, and a nice play right there, and now we've got a flag. Boy, it looked like it was some nice defense there, but the referee saw something we didn't, and he threw a flag.
Yeah, from this angle, that was a heck of a job. He actually knocks the ball down before he gets to him. I can't see what's happening behind. We're at an angle. We don't see the back judge what he sees on the back. But if the ball's hit before he gets to him, then there's no pass interference. But this is a good look. They covered it well. It's right down the middle here. He knocks it down, so there should be no pass interference if he's touching the ball before it gets to him. But I don't know if his left hand was draping on his back or not.
Boy, that did look like a nice play by Tim Lacanina, but that's not the way it went. And McQuaid now has a 1st and 10 from the Fairport 25-yard line, and now we have another flag from the side judge here. And what is going to be the call here? We got another problem along the sidelines for Fairport.
I believe it's got to be frustration after that call. So maybe a coach or maybe a player.
And it looks like they're pointing to a player right now, Coach. And if it is a player, as a coach, I'm not sure that there's got to be anything that might make you more angry than that.
Yeah, that's frustrating. I'm not down there, so I don't know what happens, but it's a lot of football left. You hope as a player you trust that your coaches are going to defend you, that that's not your job to do anything but play. Not sure if it was against a player or who it was against.
Yeah, and you're right. I'm not sure either. It looked to me like he pointed to a player, but I'm not positive either. But
with that said, Fairport's got to have a short-term memory.
Yep, and they had just grabbed some momentum with that touchdown, and now here's a chance to hang on to that momentum. They need to stand right here. So 1st down. Cairns takes the snap, fakes the handoff, puts it out in the flat to Bronco, and Bronco is going to reach forward for a gain of about 6 right there. And he just seems to be Cairns' go-to guy right now.
Yeah, and that was a great play both ways. Ryan Smith read that well. I like the play call because, Fairport at that point is like we got to step up, expect the run, and get it to your sure hand guy. If he doesn't make the tackle, he walks into the end zone.
So it's going to be 2nd down and 5 from the Fairport 12-yard line. This time Cairns is going to have 3 wideouts to his left. And Jack Miller in the backfield with him. Puts a man in motion. He fakes the handoff to the man in motion and hands it to Miller. Miller pounding his way up the middle, and he is going to come down about a yard short of the goal line.
Great play design. So you got trips this way, but it's almost like quads because you got a tight end on this side, but he's ineligible. So it forces them to put the 3-tech to the trip side, which leaves the backside open for a counter. So they run a jet motion for some eye candy, hand it off, run the counter. The mismatch is there to start with. Great play call.
So we are going to have a timeout here by Fairport with just under a minute left to play here in the first half, and we will take a break as well on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Welcome back to our coverage of Section 5 football here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. McQuaid against Fairport, and McQuaid with a first and goal from the 1-yard line in a situation now where they can really take control of this game.
Yeah, I agree. Coach Frank Mullen, the defense coordinator for Fairport, is going to be bringing the house.
There's a handoff, and Jack Miller will go up the middle for an easy touchdown, and that will make it 25-8. McQuaid with the point after coming.
Yeah, it's frustrating for Fairport. They're in a great position. Get that penalty, and that changes the outcome, and now you're in a position to not only score just before half with that energy. Now it's kind of deflated. The crowd got quiet pretty quick. And that was one of the things that we talked about, is trying to take the crowd out of the game for McQuaid, and they responded by doing that, because you could see the response by Fairport's crowd when they had that big score, the 2-point conversion.
And we got a problem off the snap here. We're going to get a flag. And while they work this out, Coach, that was a really impressive answer by McQuaid. It felt to us up here like Fairport had just really made a move to grab some of that momentum, get, like you said, get their crowd back into the game, and McQuaid just hammered that ball down the field and was able to put it in for a score and really kind of take control of this game right now.
Yeah, no question about it. What a great answer. On top of it, they start with the ball the second half. So, it's almost putting them in a position to have 2 times to score the ball, to score. But, yeah, you could see it. It was like a completely different game for a second there, and what a response by McQuaid's players and staff.
And the extra point is good after the penalty, and that is going to make it 26-8 with 56 seconds left to go here in the first half. And I'm going to have you put your coach's hat on like you ever take it off, Coach. But on the Fairport sideline right now, what is Mark Vitacor, and maybe is this an opportunity to get a jump even on halftime? What is he saying to his kids down there?
Hey, short-term memory, let's respond. We just took a kick return all the way to the house. They're not going to give them a short field by onside kicking it here. So if they do kick it deep, I think they can break one, because every single time, except for the time that they picked it up, they had an opportunity because the gaps were there. So maybe they can exploit it here. This would be a great response for them to go into half, because McQuaid's going to start with the ball second half.
As you look at some season stats for each team, and it's kind of going the way this game is right now. McQuaid is averaging just over 34 points, actually just under 35 points a game. Fairport just under 19 points a game, and that's kind of the way this game is going right now. So Fairport's going to need something to turn this around, or McQuaid, will be in the driver's seat here as we get the kickoff, and it's going to go to Tarmino again, and he's going to break one up the middle, and this time the McQuaid coverage team is there. Tarmino had a little bit of room for a moment, but this time they closed in on him.
Yeah, they sure did, because I thought he was going to have a nice stick the foot in the ground and cut up the seam, but they buzzed their feet and broke down, and they were there for him.
So 50 seconds left to go here in the first half. And Fairport will have the ball at their own 29-yard line. As we take a look at the standings in Double-A right now as they stand, McQuaid is in first place and would have the first seed if they win tonight. There's no question about that. A win would clinch the top seed for McQuaid. Then it's Aquinas, Hilton, Webster Schrader, Fairport right now in the 5th seed, and Rush Henrietta, Pittsford, and Monroe round out the 8 playoff spots as it stands right now. And it looks like there's a fumble right now picked up, and is going to be returned for a touchdown. A beautiful play by Zay Collier, and that is the last thing that Fairport needed right now, and a huge play by McQuaid.
And Colin Pierce, who's been the heart and soul, you feel for the kid. He's trying to make something happen. The spin move he did earlier was great. This time it ends up coming out. I know he got up limping a little bit at the end. So sometimes you get banged up a little bit, your arms release. Great cut there by him. Great cut by 13. Zay Collier there, sticking his foot in the ground and cut. Gosh, that's the last thing you wanted for Fairport, to give up another score just before. And, with that said, McQuaid, I was talking to Coach Bates about it. Interesting. They have co-defensive coordinators, which is very interesting at the high school level. So Corey Parker, he actually played for McQuaid, and Chris Tompkins, who played at Schrader, are both defensive coordinators. And that speaks volumes for Coach Bates to trust two guys to do it, and it speaks volumes for Coach Parker and Coach Tompkins to be able to work together.
Yeah, that is an unusual situation, but it's obviously working for him. And McQuaid tacks on the extra point, and now just like that, it's 33-8 with 38 seconds left to go here in the first half. And McQuaid has taken advantage of these turnovers and not settling for field goals or anything like that. They are turning these turnovers into 6 and 7 points.
Yeah, I mean, what's that? It's 14 points or 12 points at least on defense right now. So it's not like Fairport's defense is giving up everything. The offense is giving up almost half of those points on the scoreboard right now. And that's what they talked about, being efficient on first down, convert on third down, and take care of the ball in possession, because you didn't want to give McQuaid's offense the ball. Well, they didn't even get that far. They're giving McQuaid's defense the ball, and they're converting.
Incredibly, and I'm just sure Coach Vidicor shaking his head, incredibly, this Fairport team, I believe, has turned the ball over now 6 times in the first half.
Yeah, it's frustrating. It really is.
And that ball is going to squib, but it's going to stop short of the goal line. It's going to have to be returned. It's picked up and will be brought out to just shy of the 29-yard line. And I got to believe that Fairport at this point is probably just going to take a knee here and get into halftime and talk a few things through.
Yeah, I would think so. You kind of want to try to make something happen, but I think the smart move now is let's get into halftime now, because McQuaid's not going to call timeouts at this point in time. Because Coach usually doesn't use them, but he already used one. He's not going to do it to stop the clock. They may run the inside zone a little bit, but we'll see what happens. Or maybe his thought might be, hey, let's see what happens on first play, and then we'll decide what we do. Yeah,
because this does not look like a team that's setting down like I thought. They're going to go deep down the right-hand side, and that ball is picked off by Zay Collier, who just picked up a fumble and ran it back for a touchdown, and on the very next play, he picks one off.
Yeah, unbelievable play. I actually thought Joe Gidgey was actually going to be making one heck of a highlight reel catch. 2 great players going up to make the play, and one just wanted it more in that situation.
So McQuaid now, we'll see what they decide to do with 25 seconds left to go in the first half here. But just a nightmare situation right now for Fairport on senior night with a big crowd, and it's just amazing to think that they've turned the ball over this many times.
Yeah, well, here's Coach Bates. He's a class act. He's going to take a knee here. Plus, you don't want to show anything going to sectionals like a trick play just before half.
So they will take a knee, and that will allow the clock to run out on the first half. So after one half of play at Fairport High School in Fairport, New York, it's McQuaid 33 and Fairport 8. We'll be back with more coverage of Section 5 football on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Set me free and give me death, there ain't no other choices. When I lay down to go to sleep, I keep on hearing voices. Little whispers in my head, man, is you fake a lawyer? Why no water, that designer, baby, pick your poison. These little demons living underneath my bed creeping. And when you hear the sound of the drum, we'll be saying, here we come. Yeah, here we come. Hey, here we come. Here we come. Here we come. Yeah, here we come. Hey, here we come. Hey, here we come. Here we come. Yeah. Set me free and give me death, there ain't no other choices. When I lay down to go to sleep, I keep on hearing voices. Little whispers in my head, man, is you fake or loyal? Why no water, death designer, baby, pick your poison. These little demons living underneath my bed, creeping. Know the real monster lives above them all, sleeping. That subtle breathing in your closet every single evening. Thought you never see me again, looks can be deceiving. When they hear the sound of the drum, they'll be saying, oh Lord, here they come. Yeah, here we come. Here we come. Here we come. Here we come. And when you hear the sound of the drum, we'll be saying, here we come. Yeah, here we come. Hey, here we come. Here we come. Here we come. Yeah, here we come. Hey, here we come. Hey, here we come. Here we come.
Welcome back to our coverage of Section 5 football here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. We are live in Fairport, New York tonight for a game between Fairport and McQuaid. McQuaid with a 33-8 halftime lead as we get ready for the second half kickoff. And, Coach, the obvious story of the first half were the 6 turnovers by Fairport that were turned into big points by McQuaid, and that has got to change if Fairport's going to fight their way back into this.
Yeah, no question. We talked about the keys of the game: be efficient on first down, convert on third downs, and don't turn the ball over and control the possession. And they unfortunately just did the opposite of that. And the keys to the game for McQuaid are sticking to it. No turnovers, they had a couple there, but we'll see what happens this whole second half.
McQuaid bobbles the ball on the kickoff, and a nice job there by the coverage team at Fairport to drop them down inside the 15-yard line at about the 12-yard line, it looks like, and that's where McQuaid will start. And I think it's critical. We're talking a lot about Fairport, and they're the ones that are down 33-8, but your defense has got to come in and make a stop here.
Yeah, this is important. It's unfortunate the way it ended. It looked like they were in a good situation with a couple minutes left in the half. It was 8-19, and next a couple turnovers, and next it's 33-8, and they start with the ball. So hopefully they come out, get after it right away. For McQuaid, this is kind of what they hope to have going into sectionals. Last game, let's get out of here injury-free and be up enough that we can sub early. But I hope Fairport steps it up here and responds defensively and makes it a game.
Joe Cairns takes the snap. We got a flag, comes in right away there to handoff. Stop for a gain of maybe a yard. We're going to see what the call is. It looks like it's going to be a hold against McQuaid, and that's what it is, hold against McQuaid. So it's going to back him up 5 yards.
That was a great job by Fairport, stuffing the run early there. I know Coach Frank Mullen will have his defense ready. I know that, Coach Fitticor is a full tilt guy and dots his I's and crosses his T's, so I'm sure they went over a lot of adjustments, and they'll be prepared for the second half, and that's why you play 2 halves of football.
So now it'll be 1st and 20 for McQuaid from their own 12-yard line. Man in motion. Cairns drops straight back, avoids a rush. Nice job avoiding the rush. Gets it out to the on the left-hand side, and the ball is dropped there. Just a great job by Cairns to get that ball away and avoid that rush.
Impressive. Being able to move his feet and keep his eyes downfield. We talk about it with the quarterbacks all the time. You can have the strongest arm possible, but if you don't have good feet, you're not going to be successful. And he trusted his feet, kept his eyes downfield, and made a play. Great pressure by Fairport.
Cairns is a junior, and what's really impressive there, Coach, is the athleticism by a kid who's 6'3".
Yeah, very, very impressive. He moves very, very well. Very well.
So that is going to bring up a 2nd down and 20. Cairns moves 2 players over to his right, wide out to his right, and there is a pitch. And a nice job to string that out by the Red Raider defense there.
Well played. Defensively, when you get a ball tossed to the outside, you want to make sure they're going east and west and not north and south. And they did, just like you said, strung it out, which I like the adjustment that Coach Mullen made there for his defense after they shifted over before they bumped down. But this time they tilted that backside D tackle so that way he couldn't be blocked against a counter the other way, which they did the first half.
So not the position you want to be in as an offense. This is 3rd and long with your back right up against your own goal line. Cairns in the shotgun, 3 wide outs to his left, 2 to his right.
Middle of the field.
Takes the snap, and that's exactly where he looks. And the ball is tipped in a nice defensive play, but we're going to get another flag there. And boy, I'll tell you what, that's the second play where it looked like the defensive back made a nice play on the ball, and they got a flag thrown on him.
Yeah, that one might have been a little bit closer of a call. It'd be tough to see if we have a replay on that. But you know that. With that said, the middle of the field is where their go-to is. And they looked like they were playing a soft cover 0, trying to get some pressure. Looked like they were confused a little bit on the right with some mismatches. And unfortunately, another pass interference bails them out. But, hopefully they have a short-term memory. Now, with that said, high school, it's not an automatic first down, so that's the good situation.
And that's going to bring up a 3rd down now, but certainly a 3rd and manageable compared to what they were looking at. And that was Tim Lacanina on that coverage, and he's playing a nice game tonight. And that was I think that was just some tough luck. It was a nice play by him, and he needs something to go his way.
Yeah, he's been playing well back there. So I got a 3-4 up there. They're going to bring some pressure on the inside. Here comes that sprint out.
Cairns rolls to his left and throws the ball short. He was trying to get it out there to Casey Howlett, but he bounced that one.
That's the part that's tough. You got a right-handed quarterback rolling to left. The only way you can get the ball downfield well at the high school level or any level is getting those hips turned around. Because of the pressure they had from the D-end, he was still going to the side and didn't have his hips down low, so he didn't get his back legs into it and his hips into it. The ball was short. Looks like we might have a flag here, Ray.
Yep, we do have another flag. Been a lot of those thrown tonight. And we've got an unsportsmanlike, I believe, against McQuaid.
Yeah, interesting. I know Coach Bates and his staff are not going to be happy in that situation. And I'm not sure what would have caused that to happen on that incomplete play, unless it was something in the trenches that maybe he was complaining and didn't like what was happening and maybe said a few choice words that the officials don't want to hear.
Yep. Nothing that we saw that was part of the play, so probably a good guess that it was something behind the play or away from the play. They mark off that penalty, and McQuaid will be punting from their own end zone now. Fairport with Colin Piers and John Tarmino back.
They're going to do that, and the coaches were saying the same thing, and so am I. That should be a 15-yard penalty if it's unsportsmanlike.
Would it be only halfway, half the distance though, Coach?
You are
inside the 20.
That's a great call, Ray.
Yep.
You're right, because they were inside the 20.
Although now they are marking them off farther.
Well,
so you might have been right in the first place.
Well, I'd like to agree with you on that, but unfortunately, I think at the last second they had illegal movement on offense, so they get on 5. So either way, they got 15.
Yeah, and now your punter has got to be very, very careful back there, right?
Yes, heel's got to be. We always tell them be a heel's a yard inside, because if you have to go high for a ball, your tendency is to go backwards.
Well, that right heel is nowhere near a yard back, but he does get the kick away. And once again, it's going to bounce, and they are going to let it bounce. Oh, boy, Piers was thinking about it for a second, but he got away from it. Probably a wise decision, and now we've got another flag back where the punter was. Let's see if they get a roughing call here.
Well, I don't think they touched him. It could be holding by McQuaid, which if it's a holding in the end zone, it's going to be a safety. But based on the reactions by Fairport, this may be a penalty against them.
Let's see.
Penalty against Fairport.
And it is going to go against Fairport. Question is it going to give them a first down?
Well, it should give him automatic first down. I thought maybe it was going to be holding. I didn't watch the end results when he got it away. I was watching here on Colin Pierce. I thought he was going to pick that up and try to make a play because he's a gamer. He wants to try to make something happen.
As the referees talk it over here, communicating with both benches. We'll see where this is going to go.
This will be interesting. It could be if it's a dead ball after. I don't know if it's a dead ball, if it's roughing, if it's. If it's a dead
they're
ball.
walking a long way down the field here, Coach.
So it may be a dead ball after, which is Fairport's ball, but 15 yards back.
Yeah, and that's what it looks like it's going to be. So Fairport will retain possession of the ball. It was a dead ball foul, and that will just push Fairport's offense back to their own 31-yard line. But it will be 1st and 10 for the Red Raiders. After all that.
Well, with that said, after all that, it's key because they got to stop. They needed that.
Really interesting kind of scene here right now that's going on in the field, Coach, and maybe you can weigh in. Both teams huddling around the refs. Are they worried maybe that there's a little bit of too much extracurricular stuff going on?
Yeah, I mean, you just had a couple plays ago, you just had McQuaid get unsportsmanlike, and it looks like it just happened here with Fairport. So I think they want to, hey, guys, let's go. Everybody get out. None of these teams can afford somebody to get kicked out because then they're out the next game.
Right.
So I think that was a great job by the official, controlling and say, hey, guys, let's be smart. Don't get yourself kicked out of the game. Just play football.
Pierce takes it up the middle, and boy, look at him go, putting his head down, and he's actually putting his butt down because he was going backwards and just pushing backwards, and he picked up about 7 yards there. A great run by Pierce.
Awesome. Coach Fittigard told me I would love his attitude and desire, and it's so true. So true. The kid gets after it.
He got spun around about a yard past the line of scrimmage, got his back to the defenders, and just kept on pushing. Takes it again here, and this time he's not going to get that opportunity as they blow the whistle, and it looks like that talk by the referees might have worked right there because Aldrin Wilson knew that he had stopped that progress, and he let him go.
Yep, exactly. That's a great point. Was just about to touch on it. Great point. Showed good sportsmanship. And that's why the officials took charge of that. So play a good, clean game.
So it's going to be 3rd down and 6 from the 34-yard line of Fairport. Piers again. And this time, once again, that defensive front by the McQuaid Knights is there to stop that.
Yeah, Braden Console just handing off. I think they want to try to manage it a little bit. Coach Fitticor had talked about Braden's personality. Is he just kind of a, carefree, joyful kid? Just loves being in all the. And I don't think he's going to be flustered by the first half and everything. He's just going to go in there and keep playing and getting after it. And I think they just wanted to make sure let's just take care of the ball a little bit, maybe catch him off guard and run the ball.
So they will punt away now. Snap, and the kick is away. And it's going to bounce, and it's going to take a McQuaid bounce. And Fairport covers at the 43-yard line, and that's where McQuaid will start. As we have 8:20 left to go here in the third quarter. McQuaid already with a 33-8 lead, and they will have the ball in good starting field position.
Well, I was very pleased how Fairport came out defensively and shut them down and put themselves in a good situation. But unfortunately, that penalty and backed them up. It didn't affect their first down because they still start off with 1st and 10. But it may affect their play call if they would have went for it on 4th and 6, being at midfield with a score. But being back by the 30, you've got to punt that away.
So McQuaid's offense takes the field. Joe Cairns with one receiver out to his right. Takes the snap, hands off, and nice job there by the Red Raider defense. Particular number 8, Gavin Ingalls, right there to wrap up that running back.
Great job. And, I'll be interested to see with McQuaid if they're going to just try to make the, still long game left, but, maybe only throw when they have to on 3rd down. Joe Cairns has done a great job. Here's a kid that replaces Hunter Walsh.
Yeah.
All Greater Rochester kid who actually has started this year since day 1 at St. John Fisher. So to step in those shoes, they haven't missed a beat. He's just done a tremendous job for him all year long. And you saw some of the big plays he's made this year.
Jack Beauchamp behind Cairns now, who is going to get under center here. Takes the snap, tosses to Beauchamp. Beauchamp putting his head down. Another nice run by a running back where he just looked like he didn't have much there, Coach, and he made something out of it. He picked up about 5.
Yeah, that was impressive. I really thought he was going to have that much to start with because there was a huge gap. They never kicked down to offset that unbalance. So they were outmanned by 2 guys in a gap, and they filled impressively, but then they just couldn't contain him, and he just gave a great push.
And what you were just talking about there, Dave, handing the ball off. The clock is definitely McQuaid's friend at this point. Now we're down below 7 minutes left to go here in the 3rd quarter. 3rd down and 5 at midfield. Cairns under center again. He's going to toss again, and we're going to have a flag, and that is going to stop the play, and it was illegal motion by McQuaid there. So that's going to move him back and bring up a 3rd and 10.
Well, I tell you what, the spotters up top for McQuaid, if they just saw what they've done the last 2 times when they've run that shift, they actually shifted their whole D-line from the center over. There was 2 gaps away. If they run that counter, he may go untouched, which right now might be a good call because they might be thinking pass, so they might go to the 3-4 look here defensively.
Jack Beauchamp is the man in the backfield now with quarterback Joe Cairns. Cairns back in the shotgun this time.
Got to protect that middle.
Wideouts everywhere, over the middle, and that gets knocked down, and no flag this time. No flag. A nice job by Tim Lacanina, and this time he got it done, and there was no flag.
I tell you, I thought I saw the back judge reaching in his back pocket on that, but that's their go-to. And he's been playing outstanding there. Maybe the last one he was there a little earlier, but he's been doing a great job. I'm waiting to see them one of the times is drop their middle linebacker to that middle hot and try to get a pick.
So McQuaid with the punt now. Nice kick, nice high kick, and that is going to bounce, but it's going to take a Fairport bounce. McQuaid will get on it and cover it, and Fairport will start with the ball at their own 32-yard line. We'll take this moment to take a quick break on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Interested in sponsoring a live stream broadcast? Varsity Media streams offer tremendous visibility for your business. Contact us today at 866-577-1950 for rates and packages.
Welcome back to our coverage of Section 5 football on Varsity Media Sports Network. And you brought it back just in time for a flag to fly, and it looks like they're counting players, and I'm guessing there's too many on the Fairport side of the ball. So that is a penalty that's going to get walked off against Fairport before they could even snap the ball for this possession.
Yeah, they got 12, so they got one too many linemen out there, so I don't know if they had a certain personnel.
Right now, let's take a look at the Prospect New York State watch list. Here are some of the key players to watch tonight that we may see at the collegiate level. And right now, we're going to talk about the Fairport players. Adam Pickett is a defensive back and a wide receiver. Jalen Moss is an offensive lineman and a defensive end. And Jeremy Woodcock plays on both sides of the line as Fairport runs that first down play. And a nice gain there, picks up about 7. Prospect New York State is New York's leader when it comes to spotlighting high school football prospects in our state. Stay tuned for more information about their 2020 Power 100 Showcase event happening in April. And now the Red Raiders are looking at 2nd down and 6. So nice job getting some yardage back there after that penalty.
Yeah, Braden Console is something you haven't really seen a quarterback run. They sell that jet sweep look and keep it. That's a nice look because that makes them defend them a little bit differently. That's going to allow maybe some openings over the middle or in the hook area for him to be able to throw the ball.
And before we can get that play off, there was a illegal motion call, and honestly, Coach, everybody except for the center moved, so I'm guessing that was on the center. So now we are back to 2nd and 11. Council takes the snap, hands off to Pierce. Pierce busts ones up the middle, spinning, somehow stays on his feet and puts his head down again. What a great run by Colin Pierce.
Unbelievable. That spin move is worked great for him. Not only the move, but to stay on his feet and get downhill. And, a big part that allowed him to make that open first is because Console just ran the ball first. This is a great move. Puts his head down here.
I'm pretty sure he was in the air at one point. Oh, okay. Yeah, he looked like he was completely in the air.
Impressive.
As we come back to a 1st down and 10 for the Red Raiders. Council once again decides to keep, and he is buried at the line of scrimmage by a host of white jerseys.
It'll be interesting to see if they turn that into a little package where they throw that out of there. Treat it almost like a boot rather than a QB keep. Because the corner left their receivers pretty quickly to come up to support on the run.
Starting to feel a little sense of urgency from Fairport now. They're getting these plays in a little quicker, not huddling. Council with 2 wideouts to his left, 1 to his right, and he's going to hand off again. I believe it's Piers. And Piers is dropped after about a gain of 2.
And he gets low. Kid's coming to hit. I mean, he's 5'7", so he's low to start with, but he drops his hips low. It's tough to hit a small target when he's hiding behind the lineman.
So that is going to bring up 3rd and 9, maybe 8.
Be interesting to see a screen in this situation here. The middle looks open, though.
Council takes the snap, drops back, throws over the middle, and a nice throw there, and a ball is broken up. A nice play there by Casey Howlett to break that pass up. Looked like they had that one completed, Coach.
That was great technique for him to knock it down. He grabbed the head on the shoulder, and Xavier Howlett, what a great job of knocking that down. He's the one that had 2 interceptions this first half.
Sorry, that was Zay. Yeah, I apologize. I thought that was Casey. So that will bring up 4th down for Fairport, and they are going to choose to kick it away here with 3:25 left to go in the 3rd quarter. McQuaid leading 33-8.
Fake.
Oh, and they pull a fake, and that one's picked off. They tried to fake it, it got picked off. But you know what? You can't blame them for trying there, Dave.
No, not at all. And it's funny because I was watching Coach Vidicor over here, and the punter was looking over at him. And I wondered if they were going, or, I really hadn't paid attention to that the first half.
Here's
if
a
they were
replay.
really planning on doing it. It was there, but that's a great job by the middle hot. But Coach Vidicor is just talking to him. The guy on the left is who he should have read the middle linebacker. The guy on the left was open too, but how many times is the punter throwing the ball in practice? Probably not a lot, but I love the call. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, it was Sean Richards with the pick for the Knights. He's a senior, 5'9" senior, so big play by him. And McQuaid will now start with the ball in Fairport territory, 1st and 10 from the 48-yard line. Cairns goes back under center, fakes the handoff. Defense is right there, and a great job getting the ball away there. He completes it, to Aldrin Wilson, and that was a heck of a play by Cairns.
Great job. The boot, now he's getting around, but he understands how to step back on his heels to throw the ball to get it off. Because Fairport played that very well from the boot perspective. The coverage is tough. You know, that they're running the ball. They've been running downhill, and when you're running the ball well, it's tough to defend the boot.
2nd down and 6 now. 2:45 and counting in the third quarter here. Cairns in the gun this time. He puts Wilson in motion.
Huge gap to the right, and they saw it from
and he
up
hands
top.
off. Jack Beauchamp picks up a good chunk. And that is going to bring up a 3rd down and about 1, maybe 2.
Mr. Rice with a big tackle there because there was that gap, and they must have saw it up top how much they kick over to the unbalance, and they went right after. He doesn't do that. He's going to be on to the safety.
Play being called in on the McQuaid sideline by offensive coordinator Andre Fontenette. The Knights are ready to go now. Cairns back under center this time. 2 wideouts to his left. Takes the snap, hands off to Beauchamp again, and he is going to get the 1st down. Picks up 3 on 3rd and 2.
Lowered his head, got what he needed there.
Colin Pierce made the tackle, but it moves the chains, and now that clock is really in McQuaid's favor. We are counting down to 1 minute and 30 left to go here in the third quarter.
And, you know, McQuaid's using what I call a quick huddle, which is kind of huddle, keep your receivers out there so they're not running back and forth, but you can control the clock when you want to give him the snap, and then they're there. There's no rush to worry about delay, but you're quickly getting up there.
Cairns puts a man in motion and pitches to the other side. And this time the Fairport defense is there and ready for Beauchamp, and they drop him for a loss of 6, it looks like.
Great play. The pitch was behind him, but I don't think if it mattered if the pitch was in front of him because they played that well.
So nice play there by the Fairport Red Raider defense, and that'll bring up 2nd and long. Going to be 2nd and 17 for McQuaid, but the clock continues to run. They will have to get a play off here before the end of the quarter. 2 wideouts to the right of Cairns. He's in the gun, takes the snap, rolls to his right, lets one go out to the flat, and it looks like a catch made there, looking for a signal. Pass is caught. And now they're saying incomplete. Incomplete, and that's going to stop the clock with just over 19 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. Just not enough mustard on that ball. That's a long throw. It's a tough throw.
Yeah, coming from the left hash all the way across the field. You know, up top you can see it's open, but, you know, you got a 52-plus yard width field, so, you know, he's throwing 30-plus from the opposite side. So you got to protect the middle here. That's been their go-to.
3rd and 17 for McQuaid. Cairns puts his man in motion there, looking to the left, and he's going to go deep, and he's got a man out there, and he completes it, and it is going to be just short of the goal line, marked down at the 2. That's Casey Howlett making the catch out there. That's a nice route and a nice pass.
Yeah, great call. We call that a sluggo, where he's going to sell the post, kind of slant where they've been killing him in the middle, and he goes right down the numbers. He got the Fairport. He got Fairport number 5. He got Tim Lacchini. He got him turned, you know, because he's been jumping that route all night long. So that's a great call.
And that is going to bring an end to the third quarter here in Fairport, with McQuaid leading 33-8 over the Fairport Red Raiders. And we'll be back on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Welcome back to our coverage of Section 5 football here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Getting ready to start the fourth quarter here as McQuaid leads Fairport 33-8. And Coach Marine, you've got some information for us about a showcase coming up for players.
Yes, through the New York State Elite Athletics, we're running our second annual New York State Football High School Showcase December 1st. It'll be held at Pinnacle Athletics. Last year we ran it. This year will be for 2020-2021. You can register online at NYSEliteathletics.com and just click on the Showcase tab. You can register right online. You can save $25 doing now. It's going to be live streamed by Varsity Media, which is great. So all the college coaches across the country. Right now I already have 20 college coaches already confirmed from Division 2 and 3 and 1 going to be at the showcase. And, we got some great players in front of me tonight. I would love to see there, and it's just another opportunity to showcase. Coach Fitticor and I work hand in hand. He does his Power 100 in April, and we just want to get as many kids in New York State in front of college coaches because we have great football in New York State. I think the shortage of games doesn't give us a chance, but I'm excited that next year we might be able to get one more regular season game, and I think New York State football is not far behind. And
as you just saw there, McQuaid ran a play that looked like a touchdown, but there's flag down, and that is going to move them back. And so it'll be first and goal from the 12-yard line now for the McQuaid Knights. As we've just begun the fourth quarter here, McQuaid looking to add to their 33-8 lead right now. Joe Cairns comes out under center.
Look for that counter.
Puts Aldrin Wilson in motion. And he fakes the handoff, but the Fairport Raiders are there. Red Raiders are there looking for a ball that's loose, and somehow, a white jersey came up with that ball. Boy, it looked like Fairport was all over that ball.
Oh, I thought they were. What a great job defensively. They played that well. They covered it well, too.
As we look at the replay.
Great pressure, and yes, it scoots out right there, and you got 4 Fairport guys right there, and it just takes the bounce they didn't want to, and hats off to the McQuaid guys to hustle them back to get the ball.
And now McQuaid will be looking at a second and goal from the 22-yard line. Cairns will have 2 receivers to his right, 1 to his left. And once again, Jack Beauchamp in the middle with him. And now we are going to get the second time out of the year called by McQuaid head coach Bobby Bates. As we've mentioned, he hadn't used the timeout all season, and now he's used 2 in one game.
Yeah, and definitely when I talk to Coach Bates, I will definitely let him know that he didn't hold up to his bargain. You expect when you get into sectionals, you're going to take advantage of it, but he wants to shore up some things. The one thing we talked about at the beginning of the game is minimize the penalties, and they've had a lot of penalties and a lot of things where guys, too many men on the field, some just as he mentioned, foolish penalties, and so he wants to make sure that you shore up some of these things because how you finish a game in the regular season tends to carry over into your first game of sectionals. So you want to make sure you clean those things up now.
And speaking about finishing a game and going into sectionals, Fairport's going to be playing in the playoffs. How important is it for them to have a strong fourth quarter here?
It's huge because it's that mentality that you continue to work hard and finish in everything you do. And it also, again, reiterates, set the tone now for next week.
So second down and 22, second down and goal from the 22. Cairns in the shotgun this time. And he's going to hand off to Beauchamp. Beauchamp finds a little room, picks up a nice chunky yardage there. And that's going to bring up a third and goal with plenty of room to work. When you talk about and goal, it's going to be third down and 18, third and goal from the 18 for the Knights. So we'll see what they draw up here.
Yeah, I got to believe they got to be looking to go down that middle, or they got to be looking to go to Casey Howard at some point. Casey now is on the opposite side slot on this side.
Beauchamp goes in motion, looking up the middle, a great pump, and almost picked off right there. Ryan Smith looked like he had one in his hands, but it was great coverage by Smith.
Unbelievable coverage. It was a great job jumping the route because Casey Howell was open across the middle. Joan Kearns, I tell you, that young man is poised. He is poised. His first year on varsity, like I said, stepping in for Hunter Walsh after Hunter graduated. You're going to start to know his names quick if people don't. He really is poised in the pocket and takes care of the ball.
I haven't had a chance to meet him, Coach, but watching what he's done with the ball in his hands a couple of times tonight, I'm guessing he's got some pretty good-sized hands because he looked like I couldn't believe he was able to hang on to that ball in that one pump.
100%. You're right. 6'3", big young man, and he's only a junior.
So McQuaid to attempt the field goal. Kick is up, and the kick is no good. Just left. Had the distance, but it is no good. So with 9:40 left to go here in the fourth quarter, the score remains McQuaid 33, Fairport 8. We'll be back on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Welcome back. Fairport with first down and a handoff there to, no, that's Termino. Termino taking the handoff. He was in motion. He took the handoff, John Termino, and that is a first down for the Red Raiders, and that is what we were talking about, Coach. You're down 33-8, but you want to finish strong here and show the rest of your teammates that you're going to play hard all the way to the gun.
Yeah, competing. A great job on that jet sweep. Wait until he got to the numbers to stick his foot in the ground and cut up.
This time it's Piers up the middle and another hard run. And Piers spinning and pushing his way for almost 20 yards.
Almost a 20-yard burst.
And Fairport is moving the ball.
Great hard run.
Looking at the sideline now, getting the plays called in quickly here. Braden Council now with two wideouts to either side of him. Calls for the ball, and he's going to hand off again to Piers. And this time he's going to pick up a couple. And you see a sense of urgency out of Fairport right now.
Yeah, definitely going up tempo, and they're competing. They're running hard, giving it to their playmakers. It looks like Colin Piers is going to come off. Little breather, but what a replacement when you bring in Kayvon Rice at 250 pounds.
That's a little thunder and lightning. Tried to get him to jump there. They didn't. Ooh, and Rice looked like lost his footing. Jeez, I'm glad he didn't get hurt there. It was a kind of an awkward way he went down, and he's going to lose a couple, but he's going to get up and he's okay.
Yeah, he saw that coming, and as he was trying to take the handoff, it looked like he was trying to stick his foot in the ground and cut back, and there was nowhere to go. But you're 100% right. Yeah, on turf, you hope he doesn't buckle his knee or anything like that.
So 3rd down and 11 now. Council takes the snap, straight back, looks to his right, throws over the middle, and that ball is tipped. A nice job there. I believe it was Jimmy Clanton, who got his hand on that ball there, and it's going to bring up 4th down. And once again, no reason in the world to not go for it here, and that's what Fairport's going to do.
Ball disruption. That's a big thing that forces turnovers. Putting your hand and matching the hands of the QB was a great job on that. Fairport Lions just got to do a good job kind of putting their hands in their gut kind of to keep those hands down because that ball over the middle is there. And it looks like they're going cover 3 right now, a little something different they've showed on 4th down.
Council pumps, rolls out to his right, looking for a little room. He's going to throw the ball. He's got a man out there. It's Termino, and that's going to be a 1st down. John Termino with a 1st down catch and a nice job by Braden Council to give himself a little bit of time by scrambling and getting the ball out.
Yeah, Ray, no question about that. Was a great play. He was confused. He dropped back, and the cover 3, the routes that he's used to being open against their cover 2 weren't there. And he scrambled, recognized where the line of scrimmage was to get to the right and go a little bit lateral, and great job. Big play.
First down now from the 30-yard line. The handoff to Pierce. Pierce bouncing his way inside. His momentum's going to be stopped, but he picked up about 4 yards maybe. Clock continuing to run. Down below 7 minutes to go now. Fairport just looking to kind of make a statement here.
Yeah, I agree, Ray. I'd like to see them, kind of put that in there in his belly, fake it, and then hit it down the middle. They got to be going to that middle, coming back, because it's there.
Two wide outs on both sides of the field now for Fairport. Council calls for the ball. He gets it, and exactly what you said, Coach. Fakes it, and he's got a man wide open, and that's a touchdown to Tim Laccanina. A great play, and the coach standing right next to me is the one who called it.
Well, you saw it coming because the linebackers are filling hard. Great call by Coach Vidicor and his offensive staff. It sucked the corner up a little bit to peek in the backfield, and a great pass protection up front. That's a big play. They needed that. Give them a little spark here. They're going to go for two here. Going to go that full house backfield.
Yep, going for two.
It'll be interesting to see. Obviously, their big thing is to try to go for as another young man comes on here.
Nick Terry, big guy, and he's hustling out there. They were a man short.
He's moving. You don't want to show anything that you plan on using in sectionals, but you want to try to punch it in.
And now we got a flag. You can see that coming. There was just now they ran a man out there, and was there too many men on the field? All right, that's going to be walked off against Fairport.
Yeah, it's 12.
And they just ran a guy on from the sideline, so still somebody's got to come off, and here he comes now.
Those are the things as coaches you got to be frustrated about, especially when you're going for two. Going to have to shore those up for next week, but let's see if they stick with what they're going to do, or if they're going to try to throw the ball.
Same formation. Don't know if it's the same play, and they're going to hang on to it. Pierce took the direct snap, and he is going to get caught short. My guess is they ran the same play that they were going to run, and they stuck with it. And unfortunately, if they had the same result there, he would have got in.
Yeah, I agree that that 5-yard penalty pushed them back. But with that said, at the big score, their defense is playing great this second half. Big score, and helped to kind of get some energy into them and see what happens, what they do with the ball and the kickoff.
Absolutely, and you can see the energy on the sidelines. The kids were excited to see their teammates score there, and that kind of sends a message to the rest of the team. We're not quitting, and sends a message to McQuaid, too, that they're not quitting. So McQuaid, be interested to see what they do coming out here, Coach. They've really, milked that clock this second half, which has been the smart thing to do, and I guess I would be surprised if they did anything other than that here for the last 6.5 minutes.
Yeah, and right now you got two sides. Right now you're going to probably see the Good Hands team coming out from McQuaid here, and you're going to have some type of onside at some point here, and see which way they go with it, or if they just try to bloop it over. They need to get the ball, so they're going to try something.
Here's Fairport with the kick. They do try the onsides, and it is covered, but the ball's loose. We're going to see who's going to come up with it. Boy, there was one red jersey and one white jersey, and they're going to say Fairport ball. Fairport ball on the onsides kick, and it worked for the Red Raiders.
That's a big play. A lot of energy here.
Take a look at it.
Fairport is not giving up.
And on turf, it's nice when you do an onside because you want that third bounce. So there's 1, 2, and then just as it's about to go 3, that's where he struggled with fielding that because it's not a true bounce coming off there.
So the Red Raiders get the ball right back with 6:26 left to go here in the fourth quarter. Going to be 1st and 10 from the McQuaid 45-yard line.
In defending that onside, first guy recovers, the second guy's supposed to recover him. The third guy's supposed to be coming in to help recover the ball.
Braden Council fakes the handoff, and there is pressure right away, and this time he is going to go down at the hands of Aldrin Wilson, and Wilson, I don't know that he was blocked.
No, he wasn't going for any play action fake. I like the call there. I thought maybe they were going to come with a screen on there, but what a great ball get off. He keeps his outside hand free, gets a good rip move to get outside the guard, tackle, and get upfield.
He was blocked, or tried to be blocked, and he just fought through it. So that is going to bring up 2nd and long, 2nd and 20 now for Fairport.
McQuaid goes to a 3-4, showing pressure here.
Council takes the snap. There's pressure up the middle. Rolls out to the right, gets one in the air, and that one's going to get picked. And that will be picked off.
That's his 3rd, I believe.
And that is Zay Collier again, his 3rd interception of the game. That's a heck of a game. That's a heck of a season. And he's got 3 in the game.
Yeah, that was a great job by McQuaid's defense. We talked about their co-defensive coordinators and Coach Corey Parker and Coach Chris Tompkins. They checked to a 3-4. Looked like a little robber in there with a cover 3, and unfortunately he had him beat, but the ball just didn't get there enough.
And that's going to happen. I mean, when you're down by this many points, you got to take chances, and turnovers are going to happen. As McQuaid on 1st down is going to pick up about 6 yards, and now they will continue to just milk this clock. We're counting down to about 5 minutes left to go in the 4th quarter here.
Yeah, they're just going to, the clock is their friend right now. They're going to take every second. He's probably going to tell them don't snap until you see the back judge's hand raise. Back judge's hand gets raised. There's 10 seconds. When he starts waving, means there's 5 left.
And the Knights are doing exactly that, taking their time. Down below 5 minutes now. Cairns in the gun.
2nd down and 4 for McQuaid.
2nd and 4. There's the snap and the handoff. Once again, Jack Beauchamp to the left, and he's going to pick up a couple of more.
And it looks like Coach Viticor's trying to get some of these guys in that don't play a lot, especially these guys that are seniors coming on, and they deserve the opportunity. They worked hard for them, and even though they may not start senior night, get them in the game. They're going to be in sectionals, given the situation where the score is. It's important for these kids to see the field and for all the hard work they do in practice.
And it's a great thing about high school sports. It's important, and wins are important. But to see a coach realize what's going on here and make sure that his seniors get in, that's just that's fantastic. So 3rd down here, handoff once again, and oh boy, he might have fought for the 1st down. That was a heck of a run. 2nd effort there by Jack Miller, and he's going to pick up a 1st down. And a nice hard run right there.
Interesting Looks like they might have marked him back.
Oh, he did. He might have bounced a little after he hit the ground, I guess.
Yeah, it was tough for our angle to see it because I thought you were right, Ray. I thought he had the 1st down too, but they may just go a kill call here, or they may just take a delay of penalty, take the clock off.
Yep, they're going to bring the punt team out now, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him let it go all the way down. We're down below 3 minutes now. Left to go here with McQuaid up 33-14. They bring the punt team on.
Back for Fairport, number 5, Tim Lacanina.
Yeah, Tim Lacanina is coming in now, just flying in there to get the punt return.
They do snap it, and the kick is away. A nice kick. And they're going to let it bounce and roll. And that ball is going to be down at about the 20, and we got another flag on the play. A lot of flags out here tonight, Coach, and some of them have been out of frustration. Not quite sure what this one is for, but it looks like it is going to go against McQuaid from reaction, but we'll see.
Yeah, interesting. Saw McQuaid player on top of Fairport, so I don't know what transpired prior to that. The flag was coming from behind.
So, as we count down the last 2:28 of this game, let's talk about the team that's going to be the top seed in AA here, Coach. McQuaid came out tonight, did exactly what they needed to do, handled business. They took advantage of turnovers that they forced. What do you see right now out of this team as far as preparedness to go in as the top seed in AA?
Well, I think the scary part is they had a couple guys that didn't play. One in their starting middle linebacker, Will Teresi, 6 foot. He's the one that coach didn't have him playing the last couple games to keep him healthy. The only thing I think is going to stop McQuaid is themselves. And that was part of the keys to the game that we talked about and Coach and I talked about is getting rid of the foolish penalties, taking care of the ball. They turned over the ball way too many times. They only gave up 1 sack, but, man, they have so many weapons. And people are going to have their hands full trying to defend them. But I really think the only person that's in McQuaid's way is McQuaid.
Yeah, and 33 points tonight. You talked about those weapons. Their biggest weapon was another guy who was on the bench tonight, and that's number 3 running back Andrew Passero. He is just a dynamic player that brings a whole different level of speed to this offense, if you can believe it. And I got to believe it as just pure high school football fans, which is me, it's tough not to think about a rematch in the title game of McQuaid and Aquinas after that tough game. Now, whether or not that works out in the brackets, I don't know. We don't know yet whether that could happen or not, but I think people would love to see another game between those two teams.
Yeah, and I agree. Back to Andrew, he is a difference maker. He's a kid who can touch the ball and take it to the house and at any point in time. And, yeah, it'll be interesting to see the matchups. But, high school football, high school kids, you never know. And when you get into sectionals, all the records go out the window, and the most important game that part of the season is the game that week. And there's a lot of great teams in AA, from Hilton to Pittsford, you name it. There's no slouches, so it should be an exciting tournament.
So Fairport with the ball, trying to finish things up here, get off the field healthy. As we count down to a minute left to go here in the game. That's going to bring up 4th down. We'll see what Fairport elects to do. And now if you're Coach Vitacor on the other side, you had a tough game tonight. You had some mistakes that need to be cleaned up. What do you start with either tomorrow or on Monday to start getting your kids prepared for playoff?
I think you got to touch on the positive things from tonight. But you got to shore up some things. But I think they also got to look at, hey, listen, you played one of the toughest teams in AA. He gave up 33 points, but how many did we give up defensively? You take off those 2 defensive touchdowns, and you're looking at a 1 score difference right now. In the second half, they played well. I thought they did some great things, but I think that's the biggest thing. He's going to go in. Listen, take away those 6 turnovers, not 6 in the game, 6 in the first half.
Right.
And clean those things up, guys. We could be okay.
So they will turn it over on downs here, and all that will be left to do is for McQuaid to snap the ball once and take a knee with 20 seconds left to go here in the game, and that will do it. And actually, they are going to run the clock now. It's a great call, I believe. Why take a chance with any of these kids' health at this point? And so that is going to be it, counting down from 10 seconds here as McQuaid is going to lock up the top seed in AA and finish off a perfect regular season at 7-0. And we will be back in just a moment in Fairport, New York on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Welcome back to our coverage of Section 5 football. The final tonight, McQuaid over Fairport 33-14. And, Coach, as we watch the guys shake hands at midfield, another great tradition here in high school sports, the guys shaking hands after they've been banging heads all day, shaking hands. And now it's playoff time. And as a head coach yourself, what changes with your mentality and what do you want to see change with your players' mentality as they get ready for the first round of playoffs?
It's like we talked to our guys this morning in our morning workouts. You do not want to change the whole thing. You want your kids to understand, listen, our philosophy's not changed, our system's not going to change, we're going to tweak some things, because if you start to change everything going to the sectionals, the kids are going to start to say, wait a minute, if coach doesn't believe in what we're doing, believe in what we did to get here. So, there's some things that McQuaid's are doing great. So I think you stay on the track that you're going. Talk to them about, listen, hey guys, it's great. We went 7-0. We were undefeated here as McQuaid, but listen, we turned the ball over early. We had a bunch of foolish penalties. That can't happen next week. That happens next week, and we're going home. And then Fairport's standpoint, hey guys, we had 6 turnovers, and we only lost by 19 points. And that's in the half. We don't have any turnovers second half, and it's a 14-0 second half. So I think you stay in the positives, but you say, listen, you lose, you go home. You can't hide that from the fact to the kids, and you got to make sure that they win every day. And everything they go at from here on out, they've got to maximize and win everything, because you either get better or worse every time they stay on the field. And this time of year, you get worse, you're going home.
Well, that'll put a wrap on the regular season of the Section 5 football season. Don't forget to subscribe to the Varsity Media Sports Network channel on YouTube, and you can watch this game and all of the games that we've carried this year anytime you want. For my partner Dave Marine, producer Joel Belthazer, and our camera operator, a very chilly Patrick Sloan tonight, thanks so much for watching the Varsity Media Sports Network. Good night, everybody.